Testing. Testing. Can you all hear me?
Whew. And it's that simple. Now you can all hear me. So I'm sure you're all wondering, why am I wearing a Nest thermostat? Well, it's because content creation, gaming, streaming, even Zoom meetings, even working from home can all benefit from better audio. Nothing will make your audience run away faster than bad audio. So no, this isn't a thermostat, but it could be the perfect microphone solution for you. The Saramonic Blink Me. All right, so I love making our retro gaming content, but I love gear, and I need gear to make the retro gaming content. So I know this isn't what we normally do on this channel, but Saramonic was kind enough to give this to me to use and review. My integrity is all that I have here, so I will be sharing my own unbiased opinions and experiences with this thing. This will not be a boring, drawn-out video with arbitrary tests. I'm going to show you a quick overview of what's in the kit, how it works, examples of how I really used it in the field and on my live stream. You will be able to see it, hear it, and I will have some thoughts and some cons at the end. And to everyone that has subscribed so far, thank you. There's more gaming content on the way, and please let me know how you feel about this type of content because I have a lot of value that I can bring into this space. All right, back to it. Okay, so far, this is a huge game changer for me. I'm using it right now in this video, and I'll be pretty much using it on everything moving forward, especially in my live stream. I'll talk more about the mics that I've been using in the past as we go along. And to be clear and fair, I am using normal audio EQ and sweetening. No crazy VSTs or anything, just the normal stuff that comes with Adobe Premiere. Everyone, and I mean everybody, uses some kind of audio sweetening in post. And I wanted you to hear how the mic actually sounds, how I'm actually using it in this video and in every video that I will be using it with. So you open the box and you have this hard case with everything inside it, which is wonderful because some of the other 2.4 gigahertz competing mic kits out there, they come with a case, but not everything fits in the case. In this case, everything fits in the case. As you can see in the lid, we have some slots here. There's even some room for some more stuff. The TRRS cable that goes into the camera. You've got your USB-C cable. And you have, as soon as I can get it out of here, you also have two windscreens all in there. And then in the lid, you have your magnetic mounts, which one of them is being used right now. Two clips. These are great for your more traditional clip style of mounting it. And what's really cool about this is that it's also the same size as a hot shoe. So for fun, as a representation, say for like a handheld, I have this, it's a selfie stick with a hot shoe on it, but you can get the idea, and that way we can mount the magnetic to say a handheld so we could do like walk and talk type of stuff as a little handheld mic. There's also a cold shoe mount. So this goes on your cold shoe on your camera or any type of cold shoe mount that you may have, and the receiver just snaps right on there via the magnet. Inside here you have the phone mount, which is really cool, and it has the cold shoe cutaway here so that you can put your cold shoe mount on there and then actually attach the receiver and then put your phone in there and have it all together mounted, which is really nice. Now, it does not come with a lightning cable, and that's because Apple charges a fee for every lightning cable, whether the customer needs it or not. So it is available just separately. So moving on to the meat and potatoes of this thing, and this is super cool, super slick and nice. You have the receiver and a transmitter here and a transmitter here, which is already on me, and that's what you're hearing right now. So the second you remove the transmitter, it turns on. And look how slick that is. And it pairs, engages, and I've got my logo already loaded on this thing. It is so cool. And then it just goes right on your subject. Now going on to the receiver here. So again, I'll go back to the hot shoe here. Sorry, the cold shoe. So the cold shoe mounts on your camera or wherever you want. and then it just sticks right to it there. And it'll mount on your camera. You can orient it in any direction that you need, which is great. If the other transmitter isn't working, you can just stick it back on there and it's going to charge. So they all have built-in batteries. The transmitters will last about 8 hours without the recording enabled and about 6 hours when onboard recording is enabled. The receiver has a 24-hour battery, and the transmitters also have about 8 megs of onboard memory, and that 8 megs will give you 22 hours at 16-bit recording and 15 hours at 24-bit recording. And on the receiver end, you can see we have our power buttons, volume up and down. This is really your gain on the receiver. Now these buttons are customizable using the phone app. So if you want to change the behavior, you can do that from the phone app, which is a really, really cool feature. Can't wait to show you also how I have this connected to the computer. I can use it as a regular USB mic. It's amazing. So when you remove the transmitter from the receiver, it powers on and starts recording automatically. It also splits those recordings into 30-minute intervals to make it much easier to find your recordings and sort through them. So the receiver gives you full control wirelessly over both transmitters. You can see when I swipe up, we get transmitter 1. Swipe up on the right, we get transmitter 2. You can swipe down to get into your recording modes. So this is really important. You have 3 recording modes, and those can be changed at the receiver. Now you have mono, which is both transmitters or one transmitter, depending which ones you're using, but everything's mixed down to your 2 channels, right and left. So you cannot mix them independently in post afterwards. Then there's stereo, which is one transmitter on the left, the other transmitter on the right. And the beauty of that is you can mix them independently in post afterwards. And what I wish they had done on this is that on that mode, instead of it just being an S, I would have liked it to have the S there, but to have maybe like 2 stick figures, or have it say 2 people, or something for the novice user to more quickly identify that that might be the mode that they want to use, so they can mix them independently. And lastly, and this is a great feature, you also have mono with a safety track. So what that is you're gonna have your normal level that you set, and then you're gonna have it recorded at -6 dB on the other channel as a safety. So if you peak, get too loud, you can still pull audio from that was recorded slightly lower for if you've overmodulated and it's not recoverable. Great safety track. However, be aware that at the receiver, it's gonna all be mixed down. So if you have both transmitters going with the safety track, the receiver's just gonna get them both mixed down that way, and you can't mix that independently in post. But the onboard recording is gonna be separate with your separate channel that you can mix afterwards. So be aware of that. So looking closer at the transmitter here, you can see the microphone, the power button, and the noise reduction button here. So pushing this toggles noise reduction on and off. You can see the really nice bright display here. And I'll show you here in the menu system, if you swipe up, you can see our onboard recording settings, noise reduction settings, transmitter, brightness, display, and your settings here. It's very important also to make sure you set your date and time so that your onboard recordings are easier to find. If you swipe down from the top, you can see this little quick menu here, and you can get to your quick settings. Pushing and holding will give us access to the additional wallpapers. Now you can see these are the factory wallpapers that come with it. So you get all of this for $249 US. I'll have a link to it with the full specs in the description. And I was really surprised how much I actually liked the custom wallpaper image, but I have it disabled right now because I want you to see what it looks like on camera with just the blank screen. So how does it perform? So I've been using it on everything since I've had it, and it's even freed me up to do a bunch of quick captures with my Osmo Pocket and even my 360 camera. So here's a situation I never could have captured previously. I was working on a film set with a generator, and I've been wanting to document some of these things for an educational series I'm working on about power distribution. With the Saramonic Blink Me B2, I was able to just grab this shot really quick. I was able to just turn on the mic, check the receiver levels, and put it in my pocket, do a quick clap sync, and I was off to the races. And I was able to capture this so quickly. And this is what excites me the most about this. Generator in the background over here. So we're on a set here at just a small little set, and this is actually going to be a pretty good representation of a proper distro setup here. So if you come follow me, hopefully you can hear me over the generator because the generator is running. So starting at the generator, we have 5-wire 3-phase right here. So our banded cable comes down here. We have what's called a whip. Now this whip is to prevent an inductive load. When you have coil, the wire's coiled like a coil, it's gonna actually draw additional power. I'll get more into that.
Now you will experience some artifacting with the noise reduction, but it's very, very usable. And it gives me that peace of mind when I can shoot very quickly in a very noisy environment. Here's some driving coverage with me using my Osmo Pocket and both the Blink Me and the DJI Creator Kit mic for comparison.
Vehicle to test out these two microphones. So I've got the DJI wireless mic going into my Osmo Pocket. Is the closest thing I could do to represent what I think would be the most obvious competition for this, or the most obvious comparison for the Saramonic. So I've got the Saramonic here, DJI here, and the Saramonic is also operating with the noise reduction, so we'll see how it does with the noise. The road noise is really bad in this car, and that's why I chose to do this shot in this car. I don't normally do these kind of driving shots, the vlog stuff, because I don't feel, well, for one, I didn't have the technology to do it. And also this vehicle's very loud. If this turns out to be something very usable, it might be something we will do if it makes sense. Let me know how you feel about the vlogger driving shot. All right, so now we are recording without the noise reduction on the Saramonic. So we'll see how this compares to the sound with the noise reduction on. And I'll try and do this from memory. So here we are with the Saramonic without the noise reduction on in the vehicle, doing this driving shot. This isn't something I normally do, but I might be doing this in the future if this serves the channel, because it is kind of cool and efficient.
So I'm so excited I can get shots like this now with my Insta360 using the Saramonic Blink Me.
So here we are in the world famous Pinball Hall of Fame, a very cacophonous environment for testing out this microphone. And we're also trying out this 360 camera to see what kind of a shot we can get, how usable this audio is with the Saramonic with the HD noise reduction. So I can't wait to play this back and see what we have and how it sounds. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna be walking around with a stick talking to myself.
So this is an example of using the second transmitter in a handheld in a noisy environment. This would be great for IRL streamers or news gathering, things like that.
All right, so we're back at Pinball Hall of Fame here in the hustle and bustle you can hear going on in the background. Super noisy environment. The worst situation, you would want to do something like this. A little candid interview. I've got the mic here on just a handheld kind of rig here, and we're just gonna do like a mock interview. So I'm gonna say, hey, hello, kind sir. Hello, kind attendant.
Hi.
What are we doing here today?
I'm just working on the Hobbit pinball machine from Jersey Jack. Couple of
Cool.
wire breaks.
Couple of wire breaks, easy peasy. That's how they do it here. So there you go. So now we can hear kind of how this would sound in this type of environment.
So connecting the receiver to a computer with both transmitters attached will make it show up as two removable drives so you can transfer the recordings. Connecting it to a computer with one of the mics off and turned on will make it detected as a microphone input. I've been using this as my main mic on my Twitch stream ever since. I move around a lot and I don't like the big podcast mic in my face look. I'm not clowning on it, it's just not my style.
The whole head-to-head thing, and a great shoot crazy bobs. Oh, I love it. We're doing Midnight Madness on all. I will send the games I know. Yes, I love it. Love those games. But I love talking about it here, you know? Again, you know, like I said, this is our retro respite here.
Now with the Blink Me, it moves with me. I get that full sounding proximity effect no matter where I go, and it will be much easier for me to bring on guests. I can just stick the other one on the guest. This will be huge for IRL streamers. And I've also tested to make sure that I can hot swap them if the battery runs out. If I'm just by myself, battery dies, I can hot swap them.
Check, check, 1, 2. Awesome. So can you hear me now? because I can see my levels in the. That was the test. I wanted to. Okay, cool. I wanted to see if I could seamlessly just swap them midstream while live, and as a test to just know. Awesome. So there it is.
Just be aware that both transmitters show up mixed together as one source in OBS. You won't be able to independently mix them in OBS, but you will just need to dial those levels in with the receiver. And I also did some test recordings with my wife using them together as kind of like a mock podcast, so you can hear how it sounds with two people running into OBS.
Welcome to the fake podcast Saramonic mic test. I'm here with my guest, Mrs. TLA. How you doing?
Hello, I am the special guest today, and what are we talking about? Is it my topic, my choice of topic?
Sure, we're talking about podcast stuff because this is like one of those podcast kind of little test sequences we're doing here.
Oh, okay, I'd like that. And what about maybe talking about what Spice Girl are you?
What Spice Girl are you? That's all the time we have for this podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a good night.
It's plug and play and driverless. Any conferencing software can utilize the Saramonic Blink Me. If you're in meetings, presenting in webinars, if you're doing group sessions in Zoom, it can be passed around on a handheld. If you're doing business to business type of calls, you could put your logo on there or your core values. You can add those little details to give it that extra special polish and make that sale. So some cons and some final thoughts. So a big one for me is I couldn't find any way to listen to any playback from the onboard recording while out on the field. I do trust that the onboard recording works. However, I don't trust the human error that can happen while out in the field. So it'd be really nice to either be able to use the phone app or even the touch screen to just kind of scrub through and just hear some playback, just to have that peace of mind knowing, yes, we got the recording and yes, it sounds good. We can call wrap and leave. And as far as I can tell, there's no way to do that yet. There's also no line input on the transmitter, so that you cannot connect, say, a external lav or connect it to a soundboard if you were at a wedding or an event and you needed to record out of the board, things like that. So that may be a deal breaker for some, but again, this isn't really targeted for those types of users anyways, for those that would need that feature. It's hard to say how often I would even use it if I had it. There's so many times I've procrastinated or flat out just not made a video on a particular day just because I didn't feel like dealing with the audio problems. I didn't feel like running the cable down the shirt and doing the broadcast loop and doing all that, or booming in a shotgun mic and trying to dial it in, being a one-person show here. I feel liberated having just this ability to just put this on the shirt, clip it wherever, and just shoot and make content. It's not like we're worried about a fourth wall here anyways. So another thing to be aware of is that the receiver does not give you any indication of the noise reduction settings. The receiver can control everything else except for the noise reduction settings. So just be aware that the only way you can enable or disable noise reduction is from the transmitters themselves. I would love to see if it's possible to have the custom wallpapers react in live streaming scenarios. Twitch and YouTube have APIs available to developers. It would be really cool if you could have like a smiley face or something pop up on the screen every time you got a super chat or a new subscriber, or have a subscriber count ticker that's running, something like that. Even crazier, it could be happening while I'm recording. It could be happening right now. Try it, hit the subscribe button, see if it, okay, well, you get what I'm trying to say. So these are very small things for me, and I'm so happy with this kit. None of this is a deal breaker, and I imagine most of this could be resolved with some firmware updates. It is just so fast to work with and so painless. It's absolutely liberating. There's been so many times I have put off making content or just didn't do it at all because I just didn't want to deal with the audio headaches. So that being said, who is this for? It's right here on the box. It's for content creators, vloggers, TikTokers, YouTubers, all that. But it's more than that. I'm using it on my stream. I think streamers would have a great use out of it, especially IRL streamers. You could have one attached to the streamer and one on a handheld. They can walk and talk. As you can see, I can move freely throughout the space. I didn't do any crazy distance testing or anything because I used it how I would use it and it worked flawlessly. And another thing to mention is that you have multiple situations. So most real mics need phantom power and a USB audio interface to connect to a computer. USB microphones connect to computers very easily, but can't connect to cameras very easily. And the Blink Me covers both of that. It's both direct into camera, onboard recording, and I can connect it to my computer for streaming. And had this come out a few years ago, everything I've done up to now on all my channels, Twitch, everything could have all been done with just this kit. It would have saved me so much frustration, so much time and money. And but I have it now, and it's got me so excited now because I can do even more stuff with it that I didn't have available to me. And for me, that's really important because tools that remove the frustration from the process and just liberate you to go out and create are the tools worth having. And this is definitely one of them for me. So I hope this helps you, and thank you for watching.
Look at that light show on that volcano, man. Whoa! Yo, Corgi, good evening. How are you? Oh, here it is. Midnight Madness. Midnight Monkeys, baby.